Alright, in the comfort of the bedroom here. Brownie looking on. No, I didn't make my bed today. We're going to do some valve springs. Now, typically, you do cool blind 1.070 plus 0.050 plus the lift of the cam, and that's where you should put your seat height to. Oh, I forgot the tool out in the garage. I'm gonna go get it. We're gonna check to see where it's at. I really can't change it because I don't have any shims anyway. I don't think there's any shims in the kit, but we'll take a look. But let's check out what we got here. We got retainers. Those are what go on the top. We got locators. Whoops. That's what goes on the bottom. The spring sits down in them, and they keep the spring from eating up the aluminum head, and then it just kind of keeps the spring straight at the bottom. We got our locks. That goes on the end of the valve stem on top of the retainer to hold everything in. Then we got our seals. You have to use these type of seals with these dual valve springs because there just ain't no room in there for the stock type seal. Usually they put a warning in the box, but I don't see it. It says do not use this seal. Is it stuck in here? No, it's not in here. That's different. There it is. Warning, do not use those seals. Those are the one-piece seals. They act as the locator and the seal. You can't use those because that lip right there will grab onto the inner spring. So you have to use these type of seals when doing those double springs on these. But I like these seals better. I wish you. Yeah. I like these seals better just because the problem we had with the small block Chevy, these seals kept coming off, which was my fault and ProMax's fault because they kept telling me the wrong seal for the size guide I had, and I finally bought some micrometers and measured it. I needed some micrometers anyway, but these right here are made, the locator and the seal are made together, and the spring holds that down, so there's no way it can come off. I do like that, but we're running the double. These are the 660 BTR valve springs. But as said, there are no shims in there. But we're going to check the install height anyway and see where it's at. If we ever start having valve float, we can always take them back off and do it again. And what I use, I don't know how good this is going to fare on these double valve springs, but I just use this eBay tool I bought a long time ago. And I bet we used it on 5 or 6 set of heads. You'll notice it starts bending as you put them on, but once it gets so bad bent, we just flip it over and it'll bend it back the other way. We flip it over, it'll bend back the other way, and we just keep going with it. But yeah, I'll show you how to use this. It's really easy. But let's do some math real quick. All right, so we'll go 1.07. Was the coal bind, and then we'll do plus 50 thousandths, 500ths, whatever, plus the lift of the cam, which this is a 585 lift cam, but we plan on putting like a stage 3 cam in it later, which those are usually 0.625 lift. So we need our install height to be 1.745. And actually, I think we might do a 635 lift cam, so 640, as high as 640. So add 15 to that. 1.760. Just to plan for the cam that we're going to install later. So 1.760. And honestly, these stock springs, I think they're at 1.78 to 1.79. But let's take one out and check it. All right. To use this tool, we just put it in the hole there. Only reason I had that nut on the end of it was to hold it together in the toolbox so it didn't fall apart. And I use these washers just so I don't have to unscrew it down so far and unscrew it so far every time I use it. But you tighten that down into the threads. I usually tighten it up about as far as it'll go, and then back it out about a quarter turn. Put oil on your threads as you see there. Alright, back it out a little bit. And tighten this down like so. Again, I just have the washers so I don't have to screw it up and down so far every freaking time. Alright, and then you just tighten your nut up. It compresses your spring. Hopefully, sometimes you got to put a socket over that and hit it with a hammer a few times to break the retainer loose from the locks, but let's see what happens. Yep, it's going down. We're going to have to get a hammer and a socket just big enough to fit over that. See how the locks are stuck on the retainer. See, I flip the heads around. This seems easier doing it this way. I found a socket that'll fit over that lock, and we'll just smack it a few times. The big old hammer, hopefully they break loose. And if you smack them too hard, one of them will fly out. You'll actually feel when they pop loose. They'll make a different noise. But let's go ahead and start with this one since half of it popped off on us anyway. Alright, let's give her another go. See, went down that time. Sometimes you gotta, I usually put a rag down inside the cylinder, the combustion chamber, to keep the valve from pushing down. See, some reason the valve's wanting to push down. I can't get the lock out. It's good to have a magnet also. Oh, the magnet got it right out. Alright. Once we get that out of there, then we can reverse this thing. And voila. Unscrew this. Move it over to the next one because we'll go ahead and take them all out first. There we go. That comes off. And then sometimes you got to get a pair of needle nose or a screwdriver or something to pop the seal out. Yeah. See how that seal's part made of that the seal and the locator are the same. See in these dual valve springs, that inner seal, that inner spring won't go all the way down on there because of that ledge. That's why you can't use that. This is the inner spring from one of these, and it won't go down over it. And that'll cause it to cool bond. You'll break a spring. Alright, they all came off pretty good except for these two right here. The lock's got down in there and I can't really get it out of there, so I'm gonna go get a screwdriver and try to wedge it around. I'll get it out. Sometimes you got to put this at just the right height, get a screwdriver in there, flip it to the front side, and then usually it'll come out. But we'll need a screwdriver now. I've had to run to the garage about 3 or 4 times already to get stuff I forgot. I went up and down and up and down and up and down with that thing. I just don't want to, it's kind of wedged in there. So on this one that was stuck, I took the hammer and the socket, give it a couple good whacks, and it popped right out. Hopefully this one will do the same thing. There we go. Hammer and socket for the win. I don't know why it got whizzed in there like that. The rest of them did just fine. But yeah, got them all out. Now we got to take these seals out. I forgot my pliers. Got to go get pliers again. Alright, I just grabbed a hold of those with a pair of pliers and straight up we went. Just like that. We'll go right down through all of them. Alright, to check the install height, we're going to use this tool. We used it on the small block Chevy. Hopefully it'll work on this. But we take a locator. I'm going to put it on one of the dry ones. A bunch of oil came out of the other ones. Put on a locator. We're not going to put the seal on just yet. Then we're going to put on our tool. This starts at 1.5, I think. Yeah, it starts at 1.5 inches. So we're at 0 here. You can't see the line. That's supposed to be 1.5. That's supposed to be 1.6. And then 1.61, 1.62, 1.63. Then it comes around 1.7 or 1.71, 1.72, 1.73. I said that wrong a while ago, didn't I? Or did I? I can't remember. Anyway, 1.8, which is, I believe, the install height for these. It goes up to 1.9, 191, 192. 1925, 193, etc. We'll see where it's at. We ain't got no shims, so it don't really matter. But you put the tool on there, screw it all the way down. Make sure you pull the valve up. We're going to pull the valve up, and then we're going to put the locks that come with the kit on it. And then we're going to screw this out, see where the measurement's at. See, there's a groove in that valve, and these locks have a groove in them. They go just like that, angle side, just like that. There's a little ledge in the inside of them that catches on that ledge on the valve. If I can get one out of the bag here with my left hand. See, they go down beveled side down, and then see that little lip? That lip goes in that groove, and that's the pressure from the spring pushing up on it. That's what holds it all together. And you can wobble these valves around. If you can wobble them too much, your guides are bad. But that one, it's not really any wobble at all to that. That's my table wobbling. This table ain't very sturdy. But yeah, let's screw this out and see what we got. Alright, I screwed it out until it stopped. 1.845. That's not good. Yeah, that's definitely 1.845. Get over here now we can see it better. Yeah, that's 1.845. That's too much. Let's check this one. That one measures 1.8. It's about 876, 1.876. How can they be so much different? Christopher's small block Chevy heads were the same. They measured different, but I'm wondering if that tool's going over the locator. We'll check that. Alright, so that's definitely not going over the locator, but small block Chevy retainers must be bigger, because I don't think that's supposed to go down inside that hole like that. I think that's what's getting us right there. So we'll have to do it in a way that it's grabbing on the side, because yeah, I remember before, which we can measure that. Actually, I don't have a tool that would measure from that ledge to that ledge. But I don't think it's supposed to go all the way down in the hole like that. And where those retainers are so small that's going down in the hole, it's supposed to be up here at the top. Yeah, that tool's made for a small block Chevy, and the retainer on small block Chevy is bigger, it looks like. But I made sure the tool grabbed it right on the edge, and look, it's right at 1.8, 1.82, 1.802, 1.802. Yeah, and that's about where they should be. But we actually need them at closer to 1.750 for the cam we decide to run later, but we're just going to send it for now. If it gets valve float, I mean, it's not hard to do this in the motor with that tool. We just stick a bunch of rope. We put the piston at bottom dead center, put a bunch of small rope in the spark plug hole, and then we turn the motor over until it pushes that rope up against the valves, you know, just with a wrench on the front of the crank. And then we use that tool. It keeps the valve from dropping. But yeah, with it set on the ledge where it's supposed to, where the retainer is supposed to set at, it's right at 1.80. Let's check this one again like that. See, that one came out to 1.768, 1.768 roughly. That's about where we need it. Yeah, we're just gonna put them on there. We're not gonna sim them or anything. I just wanted to know where they were at. All right, we're gonna go across here, put all the locators in. Then we'll come back and we'll put the valve seals on next. And when you put these valve seals on, be careful when you go across that groove. Try to keep it as even as you can. They make a straw for that. I think I got one out there somewhere, but if you're real careful and go straight down, it'll go. But once you get that on there, you need there's a special tool for this. I don't ever use a special tool. I find a socket that fits that perfectly. See, I just find a socket that the spring will fit up inside, and then the socket will lay right on the outside of it. And then I just use a hammer and knock it down, and you'll feel when it bottoms out, because it'll be like thud thud. Alright, all the seals are on. Looking good. Nope, I'm down on the camera, don't I? But it did seem like it was hitting the spring a little, so I went to a larger socket. That socket almost goes over the outside of it, but it don't. If you'll see, it kind of boogered the spring up a little there. So over here, I went to the bigger socket, so you can see it almost come off the edge, but I didn't pinch the spring any like it did on these a little. That's why you should use the tool. Whatever. Alright, then we'll put our spring on. Put our retainer, and we'll put our tool on here, and hopefully our tool don't freak out on that big old spring. We'll see how it does. Alright, when you send this down, try to keep the stem as straight in the hole as you can as you go down. I kind of try to push it back and forth with my fingers. Alright, then once you get her down about that far, take your locks, put your locks in. Then you can cut. I mean, even with them like that, it'll probably, as it comes up, it'll probably grab them and do what it's supposed to do. But I'm going to try to hold them as I come up. Yeah, and it'll grab a hold of them. And ta-da! That one's done. 15 more to go. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I wish I had some shims to put them at about 1.745 or 1.750. But we can always do that another day. This little bitty cam, this little SS2 cam, I don't think it's going to matter. But when we do go to a bigger cam, if we start getting valve float, we'll definitely go back through and shim these about 50 thousandths. That's where about I think they were. Well, this one was 1.8 and this one was 1.7. So I don't know, maybe 25 thousandths. I don't know, but yeah, that's going to conclude that video. I'll sit here and watch some TV and finish up this head, and then go get the other head and do this all over again. But thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.